Once you begin, we will begin our timing for the 10 minutes.
Hello, my name is Iago, and today I'll be performing my play, The Abraham Lincoln Brigade, the first desegregated American fighting force. Thank you.
It feels like a war on some foreign shore. Let them keep it all for them. If the fools want to fight and think I may fight.
Good evening, and welcome to the news on WJZ New York City. Today is August 3rd, 1938, and as our listeners may recall, civil war has been ravaging Spain for the last 2 years. Franco's rebel forces, aided by Hitler and Mussolini's armies, now control over half of Spain. The Western powers still abide by the non-intervention agreement, which Germany and Italy continue to brazenly ignore by sending troops of their own to the fight. The legitimate, democratically elected Spanish government has mounted a last-ditch assault on the shores of the Ebro River. The battle is not going to plan, and optimism for the future of democracy in Spain is waning as the initial assault has given way to the attrition-style warfare that veterans of the Great War will be familiar with. Even so, the democratic government is making good use of the international brigades. These are the foreign volunteers, coming from over 50 countries to stop the rise of fascism in Spain, and possibly the world. Among these volunteers
are some 3,000 Americans that make up the Abraham Lincoln Battalion. As we close tonight, our thoughts are with our fellow citizens fighting for freedom across the ocean.
All right, Johnny, you know what we gotta do. The element of surprise is gone and the fascists know we're here. They'll be back for a counterattack.
No problem for us, Sergeant. We've held them off before, and we'll hold them off again, just like last time.
I don't know how, Johnny. We're low on ammo, water, the machine gun's broken down. It's not looking good. Our resupplies have just got blown to bits.
Do you see any friendly artillery coming to support us?
No, they're retreating. Everyone's retreating. We gotta go before we're overrun.
What was that? Tanks being cut off, Sergeant. What do we do?
We can't cross, we'll be mowed down, but if we stay, we'll still be shot.
I won't go down without a fight, Sergeant.
Easy there, son. Take a step back. Let's wait and see if they send any reinforcements.
I always hated this part of the fighting, just waiting for something to happen. I'm tired of burying my friends. I've been lice for as long as I can remember, and I don't know the last time I had a warm bath. So what were you up to before fighting in Spain and all that?
Well, I lived just outside New Orleans. My grandparents were slaves, and even though my parents were born free, life wasn't much better for them. They even worked on the same plot as my grandparents did. I wasn't about to follow down that path. So, one day, I packed a bag and took a train to Detroit.
So what are you doing over here?
Man, one of my first days in Detroit, I saw this one fellow I thought was a preacher, standing on the curb, yelling, and passing out books to anybody who listened. Now, I never heard my preacher say anything like that. So I go up and I take a book, and it says right there on the cover, The Communist Manifesto. I read it in one night, and it just made sense. I mean, my family never had a patch of land to call their own, and I realized that whoever controls the land controls the world. Then, in 35, Mussolini invades Ethiopia, an independent African nation. When war started over here in Spain, I couldn't watch it go by. So, here I am. What about you?
Oh, well, I was up in Brooklyn living out of a Hoopville since the market crash. Now, I was never really much of a communist, you know?
There's still time for you to repent.
Yeah, I just knew I didn't like where the world was headed, especially after that Hitler took power. When I saw what the fascists had in store for this place, it made me so mad that the government wasn't doing anything to help Spain. I mean, we're a democracy. Shouldn't we be helping other people defend democracy too? So, I boarded an ocean liner to France, and smugglers helped me cross the Pyrenees. Doesn't seem like it meant much in the long run, though. I mean, do you really think we ever had a chance at winning this war?
I did for a long time. I thought, any day now, France or England will send troops, or they'll stop Germany and Italy from helping Franco. But no, everyone's still following that damn non-intervention pact.
France and England think that if they give us Spain, Hitler won't come for them too. But they're too blind to see that Hitler will never be satisfied.
The Western powers will never get involved unless their bottom line's affected. That's the whole reason they won't help us, you know? They're scared of what we believe in. Scared that the average Joe will find a way out from under the heel of the rich.
But surely fascism will never stand a chance in America, Sergeant. We're not like them.
And that's where you're wrong, John. You quit calling me Sergeant. You know my name's Will. It's because people tolerate oppression that fascists think they can win. This war is not even about Spain, really. It's about showing the world that the common people are done getting stepped on, even if we have to fight for our rights.
Do you ever regret you came?
I know it's not right to say, but sometimes I wish this war would never end. If I go back to America, it'll be right back to the bottom for me. I just got a letter from my friend's mother saying that he was killed by the KKK and the sheriff didn't do anything about it. This is the first time in my life that I've been treated as an equal, like I'm something more than the color of my skin.
Did you know I served in the machine gun company under Oliver Law?
Oliver Law, man, I still can't believe we lost him in Mosquito Hill, but what a sight to see. Back home, I'd have never dreamed of seeing a black commander leading white troops into battle. For me, that alone made it all worth it.
If we make it back home, we'll make them all see that our battalion was filled with people from all across America, from the south, the north, east, and west, from the city and the countryside. Black and white, Jewish and Christian, we all fought together.
How many times in history have people come together to fight in a foreign land, not for personal gain or because they're being threatened, but because they truly believed in the cause they were fighting for? We all picked up our rifles because we knew it in our hearts that it was the right thing to do. The Abraham Lincoln Battalion is the first desegregated American combat unit. We are standing on the threshold of a great new frontier. I can't get over how grand that is.
You really think people will remember us?
We won't let them forget, John. And even if we do lose here, we've still got our battles to fight back home. The fight for equality for all races and the fight for freedom against fascism and oppression is global and eternal.
Wait, do you hear that?
They breach our trench. You'll find us in no time. Grab your rifle, John. We're asking for a fight. Well, it's coming.
Even if you don't make it out of this, Will, it was an honor to fight the fascists with you.
Good evening, and welcome back to the news on WJZ New York City. Today, April 1st, 1949,
Marks the 10th anniversary of the end of the Spanish Civil War. As our listeners may recall, the Spanish Republic withdrew all international brigades in 1938, hoping that Franco would follow suit and stop accepting military help from Germany and Italy. Of course, that never happened, and Franco's fascist dictatorship has ruled Spain for the last decade. Experts agree that had the Spanish Republic won the war, could have served as a crucial ally to both Britain and France in the war against Hitler. The Abraham Lincoln Battalion lost a third of its members in Spain, and few escaped injury. Many veterans would go on to fight in World War II, defending our own republic against the fascist forces of Europe and the Empire of Japan. But the road was never easy. They were labeled premature anti-fascists and denied frontline service. They lost jobs due to government harassment. They had to prove themselves over and over again. Stateside, they're the perennial activists that continue to fight against discrimination based on color, race, religion, and national origin. And progress has been made. Just last year, President Truman signed Executive Order 9981, finally desegregating the United States military. Today, the actions of the Abraham Lincoln Battalion remain controversial. Were they communist insurgents or fearless freedom fighters, selfless heroes or dangerous revolutionaries? Though time will tell, supporters and detractors may agree that during the Spanish Civil War, something extraordinary happened. For the first time in history, the world witnessed the formation of international brigades to help save democracy in a country under siege. To paraphrase the words of Spanish activist Dolores Ibarruri, the Spanish people from Jarama and Guadalajara, Brunete and Belchite, Levante and the Ebro will forever sing of the courage, the discipline, the daring, and the sacrifice of the Abraham Lincoln Battalion.